settings will look similar on both sides. So you just want to make sure that I'm always reminding myself to look up there to say, am I in a global or a customer? Because these settings can be adjusted accordingly. Back over to our assets page. So under your all assets page on the table view specifically, we have added some options we've changed this a couple of times now. So now what you'll find is preset page numbers. So 5, 10, 25, or 100. If you don't like those, then you can just freeform type in that field below whatever page number count you want. So you can just enter in your own number and it will load those. If you do change, your table settings, make sure you save those, right? Unfortunately, my screenshot is cut off a little bit on the top there, but on the top right of these tables, there's going to be a little save icon. So if you change your page options, you just make sure you save in your settings, or you'll have to change it again the next time you visit the screen. Excuse me. So page options on the tables. And those are going to be the final general release updates for this week that you'll see in the next release, which is generally be on this weekend. We generally release on these weekends, as you guys all know probably. And then we have a couple release updates under QA that we want to share with you guys. Again, these are things that are kind of right on the mound, so to speak, up next. Not released yet, but will be released very soon. So out on the discovery settings screens at the company level, of course, you always have to be at the company to see discovery. We have added the ability to do the bulk upload. So when you're building in the discoveries for your customers' networks or the ranges of IPs and things we need to scan with a probe eventually, you'll be able to bulk upload those into the table view. So adding that in there, and again, it just walks you through, gives you the download so you can grab the file. You point at the file you made and you upload it. And then an updated executive summary dashboard, excuse me, on the company level dashboard views. So if you're at the company level, top right, go to that executive summary dashboard. You'll now have a new view of a detailed, what would also resemble the executive summary standard report data. You'll see a dashboard view for that. And then the updated detailed report side, of course, that shows the dashboard graphics and logos that everyone likes to look at, aside from the raw data. Again, just kind of taking you through a couple of the screenshots and the UI that you'll see for that. So everything that you would normally expect to find in those executive summary reports have basically been brought into the dashboard views for you guys to look at that data and understand it, probably before it goes on to a report and goes out to a customer. And then lastly here, this is a new assessment being added under the compliance module under assessments, where you can do the self-assessment questionnaires. The NIST CSF standard framework is being added as a self-assessment that you'll be able to add there. So that'll be the next, the one to come out. And again, if you haven't seen those, you'll have to switch over to the company level and you'll navigate over to the compliance module and pick the compliance standards area. And this will be that's where you'll find these areas. So those are the new development things on deck. So in the coming week, next week, in our coming, we'll share some, what those updates look like when they've been released, etc. And I am gonna turn my attention over to the chat with you guys and see if there's questions that had came in that we can help answer. I'm sure some of those were answered. I'm gonna kind of start from the top. Excuse me. Yeah, Alan, is there a list of global onboarding sessions? Looks like Pete provided the link for that. So connectsecure.com/onboarding. We run 4. We're actually adding 2 more to the lineup. So we're actually going to be running like 6 sessions a week. 6 sessions every week at different times. so that you can send your team, you can send your colleagues, you can send your contractors, you can send whoever's supposed to be managing your ConnectSecure stuff to those calls so they can get their bearings. They will learn how to log in, how to look at the assets, how to deploy the agents, what they should be setting up. We're going to take you through the basics, the building blocks, the foundations, whatever you want to call it. But they'll understand how to maybe use the system a bit more intelligently, and then they can come back to the business and apply what you guys need, excuse me, at your customer sites. And again, if you need additional sessions or help, as always, you reach out to our support team, you let us know. We're going to help you guys out with that. So yeah, onboardings are out there on the site. Excuse me. Ahmed, does it also scan Windows Store applications? I'm not sure. I want to say yes. I'm hoping maybe one of my colleagues here could confirm or deny that with me, but I know that on a regular basis, we're running PowerShells to reveal app packages that come directly from the Microsoft Store, which has been a real thorn for everybody, I'm sure, dealing with Windows updates. And now we're also dealing with Microsoft apps that come from the store that don't always show up in add remove programs. And I believe that's what you're referring to. So yes, we will identify those. Sometimes it's unclear where or how to find those. And again, if you're having trouble, we've got documentation out on our site on how to actually run the PowerShell to reveal anything that might be hiding on you that's installed that you're not able to find the traditional way. So we're always happy to roll our sleeves up and help you guys with that stuff. If we can make it better, we will. Keith Keith says, will the scans start showing actual proof again rather than an uninstall string? We have some false positives that keep showing up and I have no idea why they're happening. Yes, Keith, if you're having false positives, I don't know if you have submitted those to us or not, but you should. We want to hear about those. Um, and yeah, there's obviously ways to combat the false positives, but please send them to us and let us analyze, let us look. Like I mentioned, there's a couple easy ways for us to query and show you guys how the agents are querying to find these applications or um, Microsoft apps that we're identifying, right? We have a couple how-tos that will cover this in detail with you guys. So I'll make sure that I do that. Sorry guys, lost my chat area there. Tim, hey Tim Golden, compliance scorecard. Nice to have you here with us, Tim. Uh, he's asking about a list of standard tags. That's funny. We were talking about that in our morning meeting today. I do and assist with a lot of our documentation. So I am going to publish the standard tags that ConnectSecure applies to your assets in some cases automatically to help identify them. So that will be included on our KB. So you guys can expect to see that updated here by end of week, probably by end of day. But um, and that'll be up if you tap the help link from the tag management screen, we'll have that out on the site. Standard tags, and then we'll give you some use cases on how to use tags and specifically what they even are. Sometimes you're like, what is a tag? I don't even know what those are. So we'll get all that info in one doc. Good thought, Tim. Jay Johnson's asking for clarification around on-prem v4 internet traffic routing. That sounds tricky. Last week, someone said that web traffic would go through the ConnectSecure cloud, but Shiva said that this was changing, so it would all go through our locally hosted servers and VMs, which is what we want. We don't want the front end in the ConnectSecure cloud. All right, Jay Johnson, that's great question. Swami or anyone from team that could chime in on that. Is the front end in the ConnectSecure cloud or is that fully running from the partners on-prem servers? Anyone here able to answer or confirm that? If not on the call with us today, excuse me, I'll have one of my support colleagues that's with me grab that, Jay Johnson, Jay Johnson, if you could let us know your email, we'd love to know who you are so we can get in touch with you with the answer to that. I want to make sure that we get you the answer. Unfortunately, I don't know, and I don't want to say if I don't, but we'll get you the answer. Dennis, 80 audit screen being updated. You submitted tickets pointing out typo. Yes, yes, Dennis, I'll make sure the 80 audit. I'm having my colleague here who's with me. We'll get the look over that, Dennis, and figure out what's going on. I have been doing some intensive work and testing and documentation around 80 audit. So the 80 audit docs have some new updates and trying to be a bit more clear. So Dennis would love your feedback if you want to hit that page and tell us what we're missing or not. And I'll make sure that any issues or typos are specifically being corrected. So we'll make sure we get a ticket raised for that. Sean, what's the website for this? Sean, which website you referring to? Just let me know. I can confirm that. Sean, certified CIO. Sean, hey Sean, how you doing? Isabel, are there any improvements in the pipeline to how tickets are formatted as they come over to the PSA? Yes, Isabel, you have you have control over ticket format at this point in the V4 portal. So you would want to be over at the global assets area and under ticketing templates, you would go there and configure ticketing templates, which would be used with the event sets that create tickets for any of the supported integrations. They all work the same. They all use the same event sets. They all use the same ticketing templates. So you should be able to do that. And Isabel, if you need help and you're not finding it or need clarification, get in touch with our team and we can help you out with that stuff. Amir, vulnerability trending dashboard be operational. I was under the impression that it is, at least it is in my environment. Maybe my team can confirm or deny that. Amir, we will check here and find out, but maybe if anyone else has any feedback on that, mine looks like it was actually working. So if others aren't, then we definitely would want to figure out what's going on with that, and we will get it addressed. Andrew P, regarding V3 to V4 migration, have you provided a process if the automatic replication fails? No. If the automatic replication fails, then the process would really just be to rerun the job again when the agents are online. Then you could repeat that process until all agents have been replicated, and then once all the V4 agents are replicated and you see them in the portal and they're online, you could then from the V3 portal uninstall the old V3 agents, and that way you don't have both agents running at the same time. But
hey Ryan,
technically be there. Yes.
That has that issue. There's an issue exists that V3 to V4. I don't know if other people have seen it, but certainly in my environment, V3 to V4 has left some agents in a situation where you can't hit the replicate. It says it's X'd out. You can't hit the replicate, and they're not live. And there's different scenarios by which the Cyber CNS agent is left either in a 0 byte status, so it's there, but it's 0 bytes, or it won't run. And Dev has been helping me with a script. We're still working through the script to try to identify when some of these agents don't replicate and you can't replicate them from V3.
Understood. That's
and
Steve,
you can't uninstall them. So the uninstall bat doesn't work, and so I've been working with them, and we're still trying to figure out how to find that out. And I've created in our Ninja RMM, created a custom field that says here Cyber CNS agent exists, but it's 0 bytes. So now I at least know what computers are in that state.
Yeah, that's great feedback.
Yeah, so for other people, it might be having to be sure. And my concern is that, and what I've been fighting with here is that the V3 to V4, I don't know. I have V3 agents online. They're online in my RMM, but they're not online. They exist in V4, but they're not online and not reporting.
Yeah, so again, if anyone's having similar issues, A, report them to us. But B, there's alternative ways to get to V4. It's not like the only way is obviously not using the UI. Uh, Ideally, we wanted the UI to be able to be the easy button for you guys so that you could just click a button and replicate your agents. And I think everybody here probably understands wholeheartedly that no tool's ever 100% effective, right? No RMM gets all your patches. No tool picks up all the alerts. It's just the nature of the business we're all in. But there are different ways to get those done. You know, Steve mentioned Ninja or any RMM tool that you guys have. That's also a way to get V4 installed, right? You don't have to replicate from V3. You could just go to your RMM tool and say, okay, I know where all my machines are at. They're here. And here's the V4 agent script, and you could start to deploy that way and kind of avoid doing it from V3 if you're having those problems. So
All I'm saying, Ryan, is that I agree. I'm not dissing. This is I understand that this happens. All I'm saying is for those of us out there that have made the migration, if it can't migrate because you can't run the install script if the replication didn't quite make it for whatever reason, if the replication didn't quite get all the way through and it left some weird state, you can't uninstall and you can't reinstall. So I hear what you're saying, but that's what we've been running into.
sure. And I'm certain as you work with the team, they'll get a
Right.
working script to
I'm just
fix
saying
that.
that if people have that make sure that your V3 and V4 are showing equal, and if they're not, reach out to support and they'll help you with the script. And I'm really trying. And once I have the script and I know it works, I'll publish it and get it out to you guys or whatever. So
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. Yeah, as long as you, with your permission, we would
yeah,
post it to our docs with a disclaimer, of course, that says, run at your own risk type of thing. But no, that's great. That's good feedback, Steve. We appreciate that stuff. So as always, anyone having issues, reach out to us, let us know. We'll help you guys work through those issues, right? There's no pressure there. Yeah, Mark, Andy, thanks, Mark. Yeah, Mark's confirming. I know a lot of partners are using RMM to do a lot of these things. To sort document sheets was currently V4 and V3. Um, yeah, no, Andy, that's good feedback. Obviously, we can note that down. I'll have our colleagues grab that Andy row about maybe what's the differences. Be one of those things that we'll create it and it'll be great, but then in 6 months from now, it won't matter. Or it'll be so changed because of how quickly we release updates, right? Things become stale, which is always a bane of our existence here.
Ryan, just to give clarity, there are differences between the two, and I need to be able to figure out, well, which customers can I migrate over, which ones I cannot. And specifically around vulnerability scanning and firewall integration, those are key elements as how we use ConnectSecure. And I'm really trying to make sure I know what V4 lacks or doesn't have yet versus what V3 has.
And specifically vulnerability and firewall scanning, there's parity, if not better scanning from V4 side. So there's nothing lacking
All
in
right, so I just saw someone loud and clear, and I'm just saying I saw someone say that none of their firewalls are showing up, and that's what is why I mentioned firewalls, because that was a chat that came up through the process here.
Yeah, probably it's an isolated thing because right I have partners I'm working with that have hundreds or thousands of firewalls that are showing up. So, but and again, in terms of scanning, vulnerability, compliance, firewall, those things are in parity. There are reports, dashboards, tweaks, tunes, little things here and there that are not, in full comparison to V3. But when we're talking about the core of the scanning and where it sources and scans from, there would be no reason to not, to be worried, I should say, that you're not missing anything. But to your point, we could certainly create some type of guide or a doc that tries to really highlight some of those changes that are not specific to the core. Right?
And Ryan, I do have a question about integration with PSA. I was overwhelming our NOC team with tickets, and is there a best practice for ticket creation and self remediation for ConnectSecure V4? That would be a helpful piece to say, you don't want to overwhelm the NOC team. this is stuff, if I could say that this would be self-healing and to not touch it, right? And for these that aren't self-healing that need to be dealt with, to have a way to classify those.
Yeah, it's a real broad statement, Andy, because
All right.
I mean, I can certainly discuss it. I'm an expert in help desk and knock, and I've been around it for 20 years.
Okay.
I've been
So
supporting these things for a long time. So, but my point is there's no real one best practice for dealing with ticket throttling. It really comes down to the organization, what your responsibilities are, what your scope of scanning is. I mean, there's so many variables that in a true best practice, if I was doing a consulting engagement, I would be getting into those intimate details about how those things function, because every MSP on this call has a different answer and a
all
different
right.
customer and a different best practice that fits their organization. So I don't know that we could create a one size fits all for that. What I can offer you, Andy, is schedule a session with me. I'll meet with you. I'll look at what you have and I'll offer my best practice to you from our tools lens on what I see and what I could share with you. That's something I can do, but it's really hard to publish that for everyone because one more person might look at my idea and say that doesn't work for my customers. It's no good.
Where I guess I'm going is that there are self-healing tickets and non-self-healing tickets. And to be able to say this ticket will be remediated by ConnectSecure after it applies the vulnerability patch, and these will not, that would be helpful.
Sure, there would be some methods to probably deal with that, depending which ticketing system you've got, right? There would be some ways to deal with that. So
Thank you.
great thoughts, Andy. Like I said, get in touch, man. I'm happy to meet with you and go through that stuff. CIS being considered for a compliance assessment. Andy, yeah, I'm not sure if CIS is on there. Maybe one of my teammates would be able to confirm or deny that. I'm not sure on CIS. Imagine so. I'm sure that's something we've probably considered since we do their compliance scanning. So I'm trying to catch up here, guys. Sorry on the chat. Like we got a lot of back and forth, which is always cool to see. Okay, so okay, Sean, thank you. I see some partners answered some stuff there. Yeah, Jordan, looks like you got an answer. Yeah, Jordan. Yeah, we've got several write-ups. We've got the onboarding sessions. We've got documentation. We've got humans you can talk to. So if you need help getting from V3 to V4, reach out to our support team and we will assist you. Enrique, any update on regex file scanning? Enrique, I'm not sure if you have put in a feature request for that. I'm not familiar with what that is per se. Does that have to do with PII scanning maybe? But if there's a ticket, that's where I would lead you. If you haven't put one in, then let's create one and I think the team would get it. Yeah, support@connectsecure.com. Any idea, any question, any thought you have you want to share with us, you send it there. We have human beings watching that and reading it and responding to you. Yeah, I confirm that. Pete shared our Discord channel. Thanks, Pete, for posting that. Danny's asking about reports issues. Not sure what specifically you're referring to was not working, but there's all the reports are available there. Not sure if you got specific issues you were facing, but all the reports are there from V3 now. Yeah, Dennis noted, got your feedback there on some of the feedback that you guys are sharing. Cool. Jay Johnson, we got your email there. So my colleagues got that email. We'll get in touch with you on those issues you reported to us. Nick saying, lost your creds, added them back. some cleanup, nothing expected. Yeah, so Nick's sharing some feedback. Thanks for sharing it. Yeah, if you're coming over from replicating, obviously, you just double check your data, look at it. Yeah, Karen says firewall's not showing up in V4. We have a how-to as well that I've created on how to add firewall credentials to V4 and then how to map them to a so that your firewalls do come in and can get scanned. Again, just reach out to the team guys on that stuff. They'll help you out. And I will get that in touch. Andy, I got your Calendly. Check that out. Thanks for the feedback there, Kev. Enrique Shittle's working on it. I'll have to wait for him to return. I'm not sure. No, I don't think he's here on this call with us today. Yeah, Jay Johnson, we'll get you that V4. We got your email thank you for sending it, and we'll get you the info on confirming V4 on-prem traffic is all on your servers, or if we have a cloud front end still for any of that stuff. We'll get that out to you. I think I got through everything. If I did miss anyone's questions or comments up top, that was not on purpose. I think I tried to get through everything. If we didn't get to you, again, support@connectsecure.com. As always, just drive a ticket through to our system. We will read it. We will respond. We will schedule a call, whatever we need to do to help you guys. We're here to do that. So as always, we appreciate everyone here, their feedback, your patience, your positivity. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from a lot of partners on the new version. So I'm hoping as more of you guys adopt it and use it and it becomes the regular, they feel the same. If not, we want to hear how and why, and we'll do our best to make it better as always. So appreciate everyone joining the call as always. You guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week.